Hey everybody, welcome back to City Skylines. It's been a while, it has been a while since the last video I have posted, but it was totally worth the wait because I have come with a new map for you guys to enjoy, the map and also city of Fremont. So, what is new about Fremont? Well, basically, it's a bit similar to the previous map that I had in a sense that there is no harbor that this city has. I'm not really not really a big fan of harbors, but this city is going to be significantly smaller, at least hopefully, than the last city that I built. But nonetheless, it'll be very detailed, and I'll put a lot of time and care into it. Kind of like the last city that I had, the city of Lawrence, this city is going to be focused a lot on rail transportation, at least hopefully. The last city actually didn't really get a lot of rail transport going on with it, but since there isn't a harbor, that is, the main source of transit and industry and whatnot. But I'm sidetracking. So rather than talk about what is in the future for this, because that can be explained in, well, future videos, let's just jump right into what's happening on screen. And I will apologize right now up front if it is very jittery and it kind of messes with you. There was a lot of footage that is being made for this first episode, and I want to squeeze all the important bits into one episode, and it just so happened that a lot of stuff was important. So rather than make a 35-minute long video, I tried to condense it down to something a bit shorter. So now that that's out of the way, and also now that a section of the video has ended, let me just first off say that that little reservoir that you saw in the opening cinematic was, of course, dammed up. So the dam does create hydroelectric power, and also it creates the reservoir. So it's it makes more sense rather than there just being a random lake in the middle of nowhere. So that's what the dam does. So now on screen, I am currently working on the nuclear power plant, as you would have guessed from the title of the video. This nuclear power plant, it is the Dole, I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's like either Belgian or Dutch. I forgot which one it was. But anyway, it was made by Ronix, if I'm not mistaken. And it is really fantastic. It's super detailed. It's very realistic. It's modeled after the real Dole nuclear power plant. And it's fantastic. So I had originally actually planned to recreate the Dole power plant, but it didn't quite work out. It's kind of hard to explain. I can't really explain it in words. I just didn't like the way that it looked, and it didn't really fit the surrounding or the just the kind of design that I was hoping for it to work. It was also super complicated to try and recreate, so I decided against it and decided to make my own thing. And I'm really happy with the results that I got from this. I spent a lot of time detailing the nuclear power plant once I'd actually finished it. And even then, I went off camera and I went and detailed a little bit more. So this nuclear power plant blows the one that I had in my last series out of the water. Absolutely. The one that I had last time, I used the game default nuclear power plants and just a bunch of random props and whatnot and buildings that I could find to try and fill in the empty space. But this one, This one has very large, very realistic buildings that you would find in the real deal, and it's just great. So, Ronix, thank you for making this. This is fantastic. And it's been out for a while on the Steam Workshop, but for some reason I'd never gotten it. But anyway, getting off track again. So, what's happening right now is I just put down a reactor along with some other buildings and whatnot. They have a specific name. I don't really know it. I wasn't paying attention. But basically, I had set it up so when using the surface painter tool, the concrete slabs, which is part of the theme, I'm using the Montebello theme, and the Clara, I believe, the Clara LUT is what I'm using for this. So, gosh, what was I saying? I completely forgot. Oh yeah, so the concrete using the surface painter comes out in rectangular slabs, and I wanted to align those slabs with the road so that way, you wouldn't have like angled, off-angled slabs, which ended up happening anyway because, as you can see, I decided to go off on a tangent at like, I don't know, 100 something degrees off from the main grid. So I don't know, that's just personal choice. I didn't want it to be strictly a big old rectangle. Gotta mix it up, mix it up a little bit. But what's happening right now is I did take inspiration from the real Dole nuclear power plant with this part. So as you saw previously, I had put down the reactor and some buildings and those tanks near the water pumps by the, well, on the other side of the nuclear power plant. And what's happening now is I went ahead and got more of those big tank looking things, 2 more nuclear reactors, and also some warehouses that are RICO enabled so people can have jobs there. And I just went ahead and put those down facing the cooling towers. And just like, you can also find that on the real Dole nuclear power plant. That's where I got the inspiration from. So that's that. Let's see, what else? Well, happening on screen right now is me setting up the employee parking. It's a decently sized slot, and I also use the ploppable asphalt mod, which is kind of a first that I've done on this channel. I mean, I've had the mod, but I never really used it to color in a car park. Usually I left those as the concrete texture, but, this is a new series, new beginnings for everything. So, here I am just setting up the roadway. The road entrance to this is pretty interesting, the way that I set it up, and I like the way that it turned out. Also, somewhat inspired by the real Dole nuclear power plant. Again, that's somewhere, it's either in Belgium or the Netherlands, I forgot. But, yeah, so there are 2 one-way roads. As you can see, there's an avenue and it splits off onto the one-way road that I'm setting up right now. That completely encircles the entire power plant. And that little section of pedestrian path broke. But here it is. Connects over here. And what happens is you either enter, well, you have to enter on the right side because it's right-hand driving. But there's going to be a asymmetrical road that will then connect to the center pathway that you see right there that leads to the parking lot that I'm setting up right there. Well, maybe not right now. I'm pretty sure it pops up later. I know I have it recorded, that's for a fact. But over here is another employee parking. This one a little bit different. I ended up using these new decals that I got. Geez, I forgot who made these. It wasn't Beard Monkey. It was somebody else. But either way, they both make nice road decals and whatnot. So I set up this little yellow line decal right in the middle of this section. I'm assuming, or not assuming, that is supposed to be where, I don't know, employees or pedestrians, well, not pedestrians, it's a nuclear power plant, where the employees would walk so they're not, in the middle of the road and get hit by a car. You don't want that to happen. And I left the walkway as the concrete texture. I thought it would look better. A little bit of overlapping right there. I believe I got that fixed later on so that it's as minimal as it can be. But yeah, like I had said before, I never really used the ploppable asphalt in such a large quantity for a for a parking lot before. It was mostly just for covering up sections of road that I didn't particularly like, such as the crosswalks that'll form on every single intersection. You know, not every intersection is going to have tons and tons of crosswalks. So that's what I mainly used it for, but now with this new series, I'm going to try and use it in more appropriate places other than just the crosswalks. So, that being that, let us move on to the next section of this video, which is putting down more ploppable asphalt on the larger car park. And it's really simple to do, just using Move It, able to just, you know, pick up and copy and paste large sections of the asphalt. In this car park, I don't put any, or at least I didn't. I don't know if I'm going to in the future, because it seems like, you know, there's a lot of spaces to fill in. But I did not use any sort of car props and fill in the car park. It's empty at the moment, and it'll be empty in the ending cinematics. So I apologize for that if you don't like it, but hopefully that'll get fixed in the future, and if not, well, I mean, you're not really going to be looking at the nuclear power plant, you know, all the time. It's pretty out of the way of the main city. I mean, you might see the smokestacks, or the not smokestacks. They use steam. I don't know the name of it. The ventilation shafts. I don't know. I'm not a nuclear power plant expert. But yeah, gosh, I'm really just going off on any small thought, but I don't know, I guess it's fine. You know, there's not really a whole lot happening at the moment in this video other than me just using tons of ploppable asphalt. So here's this, the entrance that I was talking about, and I guess I did, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I did actually cut out me using the asymmetrical road, but you can kind of see it over there. So basically, you have the 2 lanes of the one-way road that'll encircle, and then that one side road that you'll use to exit the nuclear power plant. I guess you could say that I could have just, nah, because then there would have been an intersection. Never mind what I was saying. If you're gonna understand what I was trying to say, whatever, it's not really important. Gosh, what am I even saying? Alright, so, moving on from that tangent, right now just encircling the car park area with a chain link fence. There's not really a purpose for this fence to be here, other than maybe, I guess, to hold back a car if they were to suddenly drive off the car park and try and do a rampage. You wouldn't want that, but I feel like something would have been stronger than a chain link fence, but I don't know, that's just me. I thought it would look nice, and I really enjoy the outcome. So, lots of green spaces on a nuclear power plant in real life, actually, believe it or not. They have a lot of grass just lying around, and I had this big open field right around the car park, and I thought, rather than just leaving it empty grass, why don't I put some trees in? Because, you know, there are actually trees on real nuclear power plants, and not just a complete concrete wasteland. So I did put some trees in, put in some grass props, or not really props, they are trees themselves, but some nice grass that you could see surrounding the edges of certain sections of the river, especially by the dam. That's where the most grass props I've ever used have ever been. Probably because that's really the first time I've ever used grass pops. Grass pops, what am I saying? Grass props. I mean, this series is a start for everything when you think about it. So, that being that, just putting down tons of arrows. Gosh, I've been talking for, what is it, almost 16 minutes now, and I still can't even get what I'm saying right. So, apologies for that. Let's see, what's happening right now? Oh yes, okay, so this is the little shipping area. This is where I guess the raw goods, not necessarily like nuclear materials, but I guess they could also come in here. This is where the raw goods for the nuclear power plant will be shipped, and they'll be stored in the container lot over here, brought in by trucks, I'm assuming, since there is no rail depot or, seaport, as I previously mentioned. So, yeah, this is the large, well, not super large, it's quite small actually, compared to a real container lot, but this is the power plant's container lot. As you'll see, I'm filling it in right now with the small containers, which are really nice. I'm glad I downloaded these. Nice and colorful, and they really, they contrast with the stark gray and white concrete, so I like the outcome. So let's see, I believe I start putting down trailers. Yes, here they come. So I put down a couple of trailer props, I think like 6 or 7 of them, and they'll be in this little enclosed area. Well, not super enclosed, but I mean, yep, here it comes, putting in these yellow line props again, and I guess that's just a little parking area. And over here is a no parking area, so I had to go ahead and put all these lines in manually. Bit of a pain, but it really looks nice in the final product, so glad I did it. And these would be found in like a real life scenario too. This is a no parking zone after all, so you wouldn't want anything there. And just closing off that area, like I said, with that yellow line, and that is the car park. And again, putting in a chain link fence just to close off the area. Again, not really a super big purpose of that, but just looks better. And also adding in these yellow line props. I did notice these on the Dole nuclear plant, that they were pretty much on every single entrance, every single doorway, every single warehouse door, you name it, they were there. So I thought that's pretty interesting. I like the concept of it, so I went ahead and did it for myself. And while it's not like super, out there, where it's really like out in your face, really noticeable, it does make a difference. It's the little things that count, especially in this series. You would be surprised how little a change in something really brings out the whole brings out the whole thing. It just makes everything look nicer. Like these grass tufts that I'm putting down. Rather than just having the ground texture grass, putting these in really, springs it up, makes it 3D, makes it look a lot better, more realistic, per se. And that's really the goal of this series. Geez, I've been talking for quite a while now, but actually, looking at the time, I am approaching the 20-minute mark, and I have about 25 minutes of recording footage to use. So rather than bore you guys with my voice, which I'm sure you guys are tired of with me talking right now, this is probably going to be one of the longest episodes in this series. I'll try to keep them a little bit shorter so I don't ramble so much like I am right now. But yeah, I'm gonna cut my audio right here, leave you guys with some nice music. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. This has been a great start to this series. I really am looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode, part 2. Take care.
just feel so